Good evening. Good evening. What is that title I have? Okay, that's an old title. Shout out to Wendy. I'm on a whim. Come here on a whim, so I'm not sure if Wendy's on live or if she's just chilling. Maybe she'll pop through. I came in because of these two things happening right now, y'all. Lots of emotions. Lots of emotions with the water signs right now. Oh, it's Thursday. So while y'all come in, hope y'all can see me. This is very awkward lighting. You know, we're in Mercury retrograde where I don't have a cord and can't find it for my ring light ever since I've moved a month ago. I'm using a night light and the brightness on my phone and the little bit of light I have on the ceiling. Hey everyone, coming in. I need to turn off this fan. Give me 1 second while I wait for y'all to come in, check out the current, not weather report, but astrology report. This is currently over the East Coast. Okay, I wish I had some music, y'all. Hey, Muffy. So yeah, I'm here. This is like supposed to be the hot hour. The hot hour. But Muffy, I know your birthday is coming up. Shout out to Pisces. I know a lot of birthdays coming up this week. A lady in my job that I do as concierge, she told me last night that she's turning 90 on Thursday, Jupiter Day. Expanding on that age, 9 decades. I said yes. Miss Vera is her name. The funny thing is that's the 12th, and my other friend named Vera, that's also Pisces, her birthday is the 11th, and her daughter is the 12th. Lots of Pisces this week. A few of my ex-best friends' birthdays this week. Lots of Pisces. Lots of water sign energy. So we got the sun in Pisces. Just had a trine with the moon in Scorpio. Now the moon in Scorpio can be like tough, emotional, just overthinking kind of energy, over emotional. And so the sun in Pisces is here to support that, kind of heal that kind of thinking. And I really needed that this weekend too. This is the big one, y'all. Mercury in retrograde, 15 degrees. So slam in the middle of the Pisces energy of Mercury. Hey, everybody coming in. Hey now, hey. So Mercury in retrograde in Pisces. So Mercury in Pisces, the opposite sign of Pisces is Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo. It also rules Gemini, the opposite sign of Mercury's in Gemini, Sagittarius. So the signs that oppose the sign that the planet rules. So since Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, its opposite signs, Gemini and Virgo, opposite signs, Pisces and Sag, Sagittarius are where Mercury does not do well. Okay, and it's already having a tough time in retrograde. So when you see that, we have Mercury in retrograde in its debilitation, meaning when it's not doing well already, it becomes tough times. So I don't know if y'all are overwhelmed with all this stuff going on the televised vision. I don't know if y'all are, overwhelmed about personal things, because Mercury is a personal planet and we have the sun and the moon, other personal planets in water signs. I don't know if your emotions are on high, so that's why I'm here. And I do see a lot of people online that have, especially today is Sunday, the day we're supposed to be basking in the sun and relaxing and not giving our life to anything but ourselves and evolving and escalating. And kudos to this shrine of emotional support, because I've seen a lot of people on TikTok every time I opened it today and all this weekend really discussing how we are limiting our beliefs, how we need to heal, how we have been unconscious. That is the Pisces energy. How we've been escaping. I was literally just watching, shout out to the Cartier family on YouTube, like 4 young guys that do a YouTube, conservative YouTube, discussing the Jesse Jackson stuff. And I mean, I know there's going to be something else this week that we have to talk about, and that's the past. And I don't like to bring up the past. But to emotionally support y'all, I want to say that the Jesse Jackson situation, the whole staging of his funeral this past weekend, first of all, a lot of us, or some of us, know that he's been gone. A lot of these people been gone, okay, that we see on the televised vision. But he had his son or whatever, that whole situation where the son asked them not to do it and they did it. It's staged events. It's central casting, y'all. And it really kind of harms our emotional support, how we communicate. That was like a communication of escapism. Oh, we're still down and out. Oh, we're still oppressed. Oh, we still have a long way to go. No, we don't. I was literally saying the moment that Jesse died, supposedly in 2026, I was saying they were showing songs of when Jesse Jackson used to go out to places and hold hands. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. All that song, right? The one we've been singing since I'm 48, so I've been singing that I've been singing that song that is not showing us any purpose or any value currently in life since like the 80s, 40 years ago. And then the song, the next part of We Shall Overcome is, we shall overcome someday. So what day? What day are we going to overcome, y'all? That's the whole point of this. Thank you. Hey, Makeup Madness. That's the whole point of this. What day are we going to overcome? So I was watching this and I was like, boy, it's a lot of people online reposting the Jesse Jackson stuff. Reposting how Obama, hey girl, how Obama, how Biden, what was he doing there? Kamal, I don't call him Kamal, Kamal and, who was the other one? Obama, Kamal, Biden. It was some other people just making it political. So everybody's been posting about this. And emotionally either escaping with the Pisces energy, because Pisces is the wrap up of the zodiac. So it's like either you're going to wrap this up and heal from it and go into the next cycle, which is Aries. You're going to wrap it up in Pisces, heal from it, and unconditionally move on. Like forget the past and move forward and ascend, right? Start a new cycle in Aries. Or, and remember, we're also at the end of the zodiac season. We're also at the end of the zodiac season. So this is literally the end of the year. This is when the spring, that's why it's warming up and stuff. This is when you're supposed to like be planning and starting anew. It's not January, right? That's why we always arguing about the real new year. I appreciate you, Makeup Madness. And I really got started talking. Please share this if you all are here, because it's not many in here and I didn't really get to share it myself. And I do want this message to get out to a lot of people, but I will definitely repost it. What am I saying? Spontaneous live. Spontaneous live. If you have time. I'm so Libra rising with it. Spontaneous live for all y'all that have the time to chit chat. Where's my girl Londa? I haven't seen her online. I hope everything is good. I'm gonna share this to TT and Shay and everybody. And my girl Ngozi. All right. Thank you for staying with me. I just wanted to get this out so we can chat and, talk. Because it's just definitely a lot to talk about. All right. I think that's everybody. So, where was I? So, the whole spiel about everybody online, or not everybody, but a lot of people online just really needing emotional support. So I was saying that if you don't heal from the Pisces energy, the unevolved Pisces energy is escapism. So a lot of people are escaping reality about how we have overcome some stuff. I was watching the Cartier Family again, and they were showing how at the podium was Obama or Kamala, and in the background was a bunch of melanated women. I did what you say. I didn't. I told y'all so, and then this, all this. Yeah, she did. Yes, she did. Like, it was all an act, y'all. It was all an act. It's all staged to get into our emotional. Are we going to overcome and ascend? I'm watching the screen. It's doing some funny stuff. Are we going to overcome and ascend, or are we going to repeat the cycle? Because you still got to go into Aries. You still got to start anew. But are you going to start anew and then do the same stuff? Or are you going to start anew and evolve? Rise above it, right? So Pisces is healing that. So especially with communication. So I feel like that was a communication in Mercury and Pisces where it was very debilitated. It was not serving its purpose. It was communicating the same escapism, the same BS. Now, on the flip side of it, and I have Mercury and Sag. I always say this. I have the other sign that's in its fall, in its debilitation, doesn't do well in Mercury. So I can relate to Mercury and Pisces energy. Like, it's hard to get my point across, especially in retrograde. I get tongue-tied a lot in these retrogrades because I have Mercury and Sagittarius. Mercury and Sag, though, and Pisces, even though they're debilitated, even though it's hard to get your point across or to get your dreams across or to, get out of that unconscious state, when you have this on your birth chart, or it's currently in the energy realistically right now, presently, it's also important to do the retrograde type of stuff, like go slow, like make sure that you check over things, like make sure that you are checking your emotions, your healing. Especially with Pisces, it's more about unconditionally loving yourself and others, but yourself first, because how can you heal if you're not unconditionally loving yourself? Like, you're saying, okay, you did make some mistakes this cycle, but it's going to be time to do way better in the coming, days. So Mercury retrograde started in Pisces, I want to say at like 23 degrees. It started last Mercury day, last Wednesday. So we're barely a week in. And we have until the 20th. Tomorrow's the 9th. So we have 11 more days of Mercury in retrograde. Then the retrograde shadow, post-shadow, which happens, the pre-shadow happens before Mercury retrograde, when the planet starts slowing down and the energy starts to be felt more. And after the 20th, even though Mercury will be going direct, you still have to go through those same degrees. So like, we're at 15 degrees now. I believe it'll go all the way back to like 7 degrees of Pisces, which means it has to go all the way back again until it can go into Mercury and Aries. Stay with me. Hey, Sandra. Good evening, Miss Tippy. Welcome. Y'all, please, I'm talking, the title is This Emotionally Support, because it's a lot of emotions online this week, today, period. So please drop your comments. I appreciate y'all being here. This is very impromptu, but I just felt that I needed to come online. So and I haven't gone live. Last time I went live, I was with Wendy, and she kept going, and I got put off because I can go deep. So I'm trying to watch, emotionally support myself. The moon is in its debilitation. So we're talking about debilitations when certain signs don't do well in the planets that they're in. I'm getting a lot of flashes, y'all. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to watch what I say because I just got out of all this TikTok, count your days. Anyway, so the moon is in its debilitation, meaning it doesn't do well in Scorpio either, which is why I'm checking on people's emotions to include myself. Okay, when the moon is also in Capricorn, because the moon rules the sign Cancer. The opposite sign of Cancer is Capricorn. I have moon in Capricorn on my birth chart. Definitely, if you know, I've just wrote a book about how I grew up. People who have moon in Capricorn are forced to grow up quickly, go through a lot in life early. And yes, I did. So like people who have moon in Scorpio, when you have these debilitated placements, or when you have things in retrograde, it makes you stronger. I have Jupiter in retrograde in Cancer on my birth chart too. So I just had my Jupiter return, but mine is at 9 degrees. Jupiter moves out of retrograde in 2 days. That's another story though. We're not talking about Jupiter, but Jupiter in Cancer is an exaltation, so it does well even in retrograde. So it's like we're still going to take care of home. Cancer is a sign of home. Jupiter expands on it, so that's why, whether you like it or not, our president is expanding on not just our homeland and making that great again, but the world. Because just like there's no way you can love somebody else, there's no way you can heal somebody else before you heal yourself. There's no way America can heal or get great before the world. We got to do it together. That's another spiel for another day. So when the moon is in Scorpio, as I was saying, it's in its fall. It doesn't do well. I know people that have moon in Scorpio are very much overthinkers. Because I have the sun in Scorpio, I can relate. The moon represents your emotions. The sun represents your overall personality. Pisces and Scorpio are both water signs. Water signs are trining, which means they support each other. They're also trining with Jupiter and Cancer. So those are the 3 water signs. So we got good energy supporting us, okay? Especially because the sun and Jupiter are in close degree. So there's plenty of support right there. And Jupiter and Sun being the biggest planets in the sky helps support us all. So it's not like, we're in this alone, is what I'm saying. Yes, Miss Tibby, it keeps telling me you want to be a guest. Do you want to be a guest? I would love to meet you. But just say something in the chat if you'd like to. But what else do I want to talk about? Venus and Aries. So we have a lot of debilitation. We have a lot of debilitation going on. We have a lot of signs that are trying to give messages of stay strong. Be the pioneer, be brave, which is Aries energy. Emotionally tap in, go deep, which is Scorpio energy. Rise above, escape the victim state, which is also Pisces energy. Dream a big dream, be creative, be intuitive, which is Pisces energy, So all these planets, we have Moon in Scorpio is a debilitation. Mercury in Pisces is a debilitation. Venus in Aries, because Venus rules 2 signs as well. Venus rules Libra, which is the opposite sign of Aries, which is why Venus in Aries is in its debilitation. Venus rules Taurus. So when Venus is in Scorpio, and I have Venus in Scorpio in my place, I have 3 debilitations, kind of just like these. I have Venus in Scorpio on my birth chart, which is the other debilitation of Venus, meaning it doesn't do well. Which is why Venus in Scorpio is super passionate, so I'm the lover of a lifetime for people, but they are not for me. You know, like, I'm the true meaning of people coming to my life for seasons. And if you have Venus and Scorpio, I did a Venus video today, y'all. The TikTok kicked off. I'm so upset. If you have my Instagram, I put it on there. If you have my YouTube, I put it on there. I think YouTube might have copyrighted it too, written it too, because I did Venus in the signs with the go-go music, because I'm from DC, and put a go-go song to it. So TikTok doesn't have a lot of go-go songs on it. Hey, Miss J. And it doesn't have a lot of songs. Thank you, Miss J. Everybody's coming in. I appreciate y'all joining. Yes, thank you. So it kicked off, it cut the sound off because there's not a lot of go-go songs on the sounds on TikTok, because go-go is kind of the DC music. It branches out, but you know. So that's why if you want to see my Venus in all the signs, the go-go version, and if you know DC go-go is literally hip-hop music with the go-go beat to it. Or some bands make their own songs. I put those on there too. But anyway, got to go to my Instagram or my YouTube to see that. But Venus in the Aries and Venus in Scorpio don't do well too. So we have Saturn also. Saturn is exalted in Libra, and the opposite sign again of Aries is Libra. So we have 4 debilitations going on. The moon in Scorpio makes it extra emotional. Mercury in Pisces makes it really hard to figure out which way to go. We're going to evolve like the higher fish that's in the Pisces symbol. We're going to stay low and unrealistic and victimizing ourselves, like the whole spiel that happened at Jesse Jackson's fake funeral. Yes, ma'am. So we're gonna evolve. I hope that's what them hands mean, Miss J. All right, so moon in Scorpio, Mercury in Pisces, Venus in Aries. It's like tough love right now. It's really aggressive. It's really impulsive. But that's the unevolved side of having a debilitated sign in the planet Venus. So Venus is the planet of love, beauty, money, finances, wants, needs. So Venus and resources. Venus in Aries is not, it's like more about war, which is why we have a so-called war going on. It's not really in Iran, though. It's really in the mind. It's really here on soil, because a lot of us are just arguing about nothing. Always evolving. I know that's right. I love being a light body Scorpio, period. You're Scorpio sun. Do you know your Venus? Because Venus and Aries is starting a new sign, y'all. So that's the other thing I wanted to point out. Remember I said, and those of us who know, the real new year is when things go into Aries, especially the sun, right? Because the sun is our main factor in the sky that tells us the seasons. So when the sun moves into Aries, which is coming up in another week and a half, it'll be the real new year. Aries also starts the zodiac, so that's the new cycle for each and every planet it's in. So not just when the sun moves into Aries. Anytime the moon moves into Aries, it's starting the cycle of the moon. The moon cycles once a month. The sun once a year, right? So like every month we're going to get a moon in Scorpio. Let me know if I'm going too deep, y'all. Every Mercury moves with the sun. It moves pretty close to what the sun is in. So you see Mercury's in Pisces. It's going to be sun in Pisces. The sun will be, because Mercury's in retrograde, the sun will move into Aries, but Mercury will catch up with its sun and be in Aries as well. Venus is already in Aries. Venus moves close to the sun too. So it's a little bit ahead of the sun. Venus will be in retrograde this year too, so it'll go behind the sun a little bit and then catch up. Mars stays close to the sun, but it also, when it goes into retrograde, it sets Mars back a little bit. I'm sun in Scorpio, but I have Mars in Leo, so it was right after retrograde when I was born, which is why Mars was so far behind the sun. I will go, again, this is my Mercury and Sag, if y'all haven't been on my lives before. I will go all over people's heads because I really broadly talk about astrology, like everybody knows how much I know. So let me know. I'm trying to slow down. If I'm going too fast, if I'm doing too much, let me know. You're a born Scorpion. I have so many Scorpio moons or suns. You seen your birth chart before, Miss J? You seen your birth chart? So like it'll look something like this. This is the current chart of today, which is March the 8th, 2026. So like right now, this is where the planets are. Right, we talk about Pluto and Aquarius. I don't know if y'all can see at the very bottom here. The very bottom. Hey, Amethyst. It says Pluto and Aquarius. We've been talking about that. Pluto's in Aquarius at 4 degrees. It won't be into the last degree of each sign is the 29th degree. So it goes from 0 degrees, which is where Saturn is. Oh no, Saturn is moving fast, right? Because Saturn takes 2.5 years to go through a sign, but the retrograde makes it move a little slower. All these planets have retrograde, y'all, except the sun and the moon. Okay? Retrogrades just mean that the degrees go backwards. The planet goes backwards, and that means we have to slow down and rethink whatever the planet's characteristics, purpose is. Right? So like Jupiter is the one that's in retrograde as well as Mercury. Mercury's be rethinking our communication, our knowledge, the information we take in. I was really focusing on Mercury in retrograde in Pisces because of all the information we're taking in on the televised vision with a lot of staged situations going on. Because Jesse Jackson's thing was very severely staged. That's severely Mercury in Pisces. Severely, like the communication, the way that they're communicating and trying to make us feel like we're still oppressed, y'all. We're just not. And then the other thing I want to say is Mercury and Pisces, on the flip side of it, a lot of people are rising up, escaping our unconsciousness for so long and realizing that some of the things we've been taught to do on Sundays, and y'all know what I'm talking about, like 9 or 11 service on Sundays, is not what we should be doing on Sunday. So that's the flip side of Mercury in retrograde in Pisces. We are reviewing, we are redoing, we are rethinking, reevaluating the information that Mercury is trying to tell us about our unconsciousness in Pisces. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, y'all. Is that why we have leap years? No, leap years is the Gregorian calendar and the reason why we should probably be in 2016 and not 2026. Totally different. The Gregorian calendar comes from Europe. I had no idea what retrograde really means. It really just means that all these planets are teaching us some lessons, and they all have this period where they go backwards. Somebody's shooting outside. I live in Southeast DC, y'all. All right. Thanks for explaining that. I'm going backwards. So yeah, the way you get your birth chart, you can go on astrocharts.com. It's astro, ASTRO-CHART.com. That's the easiest one for people to read. And it'll list just like this. It'll look like it's like a black and white list. It's not this one. This is on an app called Time Passage that I'm using. You put your birth chart, you put your birth date in. So the month, date, and the year. You have to know your time for this to be accurate. If you don't know the time, put in 12 p.m. It may still not be accurate because say this is at 0 degrees. I thought we have something at 0. Maybe Neptune. I can't really see because of the comments. Neptune is in 0 degrees of Aries. So when things are in 0 degrees, unless it's the moon because it moves so fast, or the sun that moves every day, it's going to be it could be like if the moon was at 0 degrees on your birth chart because you didn't know the time, it could either be the sign before or it could be the actual sign that it's in 0 degrees. Hopefully that makes sense. So the time is important. Then the last thing is your birthplace. So like I'm November 15th, 1977. I was born at 4:35 a.m. in Washington, D.C. And then I put all that in. And then it gives you something like this. So it'll tell me what your moon sign is. It'll tell me what your Mercury was in so we can compare it to the chart today. So like I said, I have moon in Capricorn. And the moon is our emotions. And Capricorn and Scorpio, both those two signs don't do well with the moon. I have Mercury in Sagittarius. Mercury is currently in Pisces. So I compare it like that too. I don't want to go too deep. I'm actually writing a book, y'all, that's coming out in April. That's for basic all the way up to advanced astrology and all the questions you've ever asked about astrology. It's like a 300-page book, and I've been working on it for a while. Thank y'all for joining. All right. So, just making sure I didn't miss any comments. Thank you for your comments. So, where was I? So yeah, we have the situation that's going on with the debilitated planets is literally just telling us again that we are having to review, redo, renew something. And again, those things in Pisces. Mars is getting ready to wrap up its cycle, meaning the last sign in all these planets is Pisces, right? You ever heard of people having their solar return? That's when the sun goes back into the sign it was in. So all the Pisces people that are having birthdays, it's solar return. Solar return is the proper astrological way to say it because the sun is returning to where it was when you were born. It's not your birthday anymore. Your birthday was the day you were born. And that was it. The rest of them are solar returns. So solar returns is another chart you can create to see exactly whatever degree you were born in. So like right now, whoever's born or whoever was born with 18 degrees of Pisces, it's actually their solar return. Does that make sense? You heard that too? Okay. And the moon, when it goes into Pisces, it will start its cycle again. But again, the moon moves every 2.5 days. So like it's in 23 degrees of Scorpio. By tomorrow to be in Sagittarius because the moon moves quickly. The moon has been in Scorpio since Friday night. So by early tomorrow, Monday, it'll be in Sagittarius. Mercury, again, moves quickly, but it's in retrograde, so it's going backwards. So it's in 15 degrees now. Later, it'll be in 14 degrees, on and on. Venus moves quickly, too. Venus was literally just in, it just was in 0 degrees. I think it moved into Aries on Thursday, and now it's already at 3. Okay. Again, I want to talk about Venus and Aries real quick. So this is the cycle, the new cycle. The new cycle. I got a text. Okay, so the new cycle of Venus is starting because it's in Aries. The new cycle of Saturn is starting because it's in Aries. The new cycle of Neptune is starting because, Neptune is in 1 degree. I see it now. So yeah. And all these planets are like under 9 degrees are at the beginning of the planet. So yeah, anyway, the planets that are in Aries, they're having these cycles, which means like when the sun goes into Aries, it's at 18 degrees now, 11 more degrees it'll be in Aries. Okay, so 11 more days will be in Aries season. That means the real new year. So it's the real new year for Venus. It's the real new year for Saturn. Saturn return is another big one too. Okay, like I said, I had my Jupiter return because I have Jupiter in Cancer on my birth chart. I also have it in retrograde, just like this, but mine is at 9 degrees. So it's not that close to mine. And again, it'll be out of retrograde in 2 days going forward. Jupiter will be in Leo by June. It'll be in Leo. Okay, so back to Saturn. Saturn return. So those of you who had Saturn in Aries, like I have Saturn in Leo. I had my Saturn return at age 29, 30. It happens every 30 years. So the next time Saturn will be in Leo is when I'm 60, which is in 11 years, 11 and a half, because I'll be 49 in November. Okay, so Saturn, the planet of discipline and responsibility. Just imagine those of you who are over 30, what you went through in between 29 and 30. That wasn't just going from your 20s to your 30s. That was literally Saturn saying, hey, we're back to when you were born. What you've been responsible about is you've been through a whole cycle, okay? And collectively, meaning all of society, being in Saturn and Aries now. So I don't have Saturn in Aries, but I have Saturn in Leo, but I'm still part of this society. I'm still part of collective. We're all feeling more responsible about stepping into this new energy because it's in the first sign of the zodiac. Does that make sense? Also, Neptune in Aries. So Neptune in Aries Neptune is the planet that rules Pisces. So we're talking about that escapism stuff. We're talking about the illusions. We're talking about the dream state, the unconsciousness. That's what Neptune rules. It just left Pisces, which is why it's been such a mess. Neptune changes signs like every 11 to 14 years. It's been a mess since it was like between 14 and 15 years for Neptune in Pisces, because my daughter has Neptune in Pisces, like early degrees. My youngest daughter, and she is Neptune in Pisces, and it just left. Meaning it just went into Aries. It just went into Aries like early this in 2025, late 2025, or early 2026. I can't remember, y'all. So much astrology, but she is almost 14. So it was like a 13 to 15 year time of Neptune being in Pisces. I remember the first staged event, because Neptune, again, it rules illusions, and its home sign. It was in its home sign. It was in Pisces all this past 15 years, okay? So that is why the first illusion, when Neptune just started going into Pisces back in 2011, the first illusion, I remember being pregnant when my daughter had her in 2012. I had a big belly. I had a black hoodie on. I had my hands in my pocket with an Arizona sticking out of it, because I was representing the illusion of none other than that guy in Florida whose dad is really a Freemason. I'm not going to go too deep, because don't come into off TikTok. But this is like everything we've been seeing on the Telai's vision has been an illusion based on that Neptune in Pisces. And now the Neptune is in Aries, starting a new cycle. Are you going to go with the illusion still, or are you going to be brave and venture out? That's what Neptune moving into Aries means. Hopefully y'all connected with that. All right. I appreciate y'all. Any questions? I'm going to cut this off, because I do want to save some of this and post it on my YouTube. I appreciate those who came in. Very impromptu. I'm going to try to keep up with doing this. And yeah. TMZ, I'm teaching everyone abundantly, empowering many. My name is Zakia. Enlightening and evolving every day. That's what TMZ stands for. And Get a Life stands for growing into divine adults and loving yourself for evolving. And that is why I'm here, for emotional support, y'all. Happy Pisces season for the rest of those who are having a solar return in Pisces season. Again, shout out to Muffy. Who else is a Pisces? My stepdaughter Imani. All the moon and Pisces people too, because we're about to have the moon and Pisces at the end of Pisces season, going into Aries season, I believe. Yeah, we already had the new moon at the beginning of Pisces season. Anyway, talk to y'all soon.